This episode is supported by Battlefoam.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Weekender. Another fabulous week in gaming has just come to its conclusion and it's time to chinwag all about it. I'm joined by Jerry, I'm joined by Az, and we have fabulous Ben on the screen as well. Wave, Ben. Yes! Right, before we get stuck into the show, I believe that we have prizes and stuff somewhere in the show.
Yeah, we do indeed. Yeah, we had Battlefoam actually in the studio, and we're going to have an interview with Gemma later on to talk about what's going on with Battlefoam, what's new, what's coming up with those guys, and we're also going to be giving away a prize for you lucky people at home commenting on this video. I actually have it, very strategically placed right here. Whoa. So this is actually the P.A.C K Mini. This is a new version of the P.A.C K Mini that Battlefoam are doing now, which can hold up to 3.5 inches of foam. Ooh. Now we're going to be giving one of these away to someone who wants to comment on this video, and we'll be picking a lucky winner on a future weekender. So your choice of P.A.C K Mini with your choice of loadout for commenting on this video.
Oh man, this is my Saga army.
This is perfect, isn't it? Like this is perfect skirmish game. Kings of War Vanguard would be good for this.
I have a Battlefoam bag for my Saga army, but it's like twice the size that I actually need for a 6-point warband. So I'm thinking, this could be pretty cool. Oh, the only downside is I can't get my rulebook into this.
Well,
that'd be the only downside with this.
Would that fit your battle board?
No, damn it.
Too big.
Damn it. But it'd be great for the minis.
Great for the minis. So anyway, later in the show, we'll have Gemma along. We're going to chat about what's been happening with Battlefoam and all the new things with them, and then you guys can comment below, and we'll be giving one of these away.
Cool. You're going to get your Star Wars Destiny into that one.
I'm going to get my Star Wars Destiny into this one.
It's
going to happen. I'll put it away all nice and neatly because, you know, I'm compulsive like that.
Right. Speaking of giving stuff away, there was a cool post went out on the site this week from GameMat.Eu.
Oh, unbelievable offer from those guys. Oof.
If you name a mat, you're in with a chance of winning it, I believe. Yeah,
there's 3 mats being given away by GameMat.Eu. So they have a brand new mat that's going to be coming out in December. It's going to be perfect for likes of Necromunda. So they're giving away, first of all, 3 mats for people to win. Yeah. But also, one of the 3 people that get chosen as a winner will also be actually the name they submit for the mat will get chosen as the official name.
So is there 3 mats to name or 1 mat to name?
One mat, but 3 people will win. So they're going to choose 3 names. Us and the GameMat.EU guys are going to get together, choose 3 of the best names that people come up with, and one of those 3 will become the official mat name for the future.
And do they win that mat, or do
they win that one? They win
the mat.
Exactly. So it's coming out in December, so you're going to get as soon as it comes out, copy of it across to you.
It's a good quality mats too, because we get them through the door regularly. Yeah. And this week, some boxes arrived in, and I was wandering past the sort of the kitchen area and I was looking, I see something that says medieval. I see something that says medieval castle. And I was like, Az, is it? And you're like, yes, Lloyd. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this has to be in the show this week. So, I mean, just take a look at what we got sent. Yeah, we got sent an absolute ton of stuff this week from GameMat.EU. We've got the castle sets times 2.
2 of them, yeah.
We've got the village set times 2. We've got the medieval GMAT.
GMAT.
Oh, and we couldn't resist. No. Jerry was here and I was like, Jerry, we have to set this up.
Always, what's the point in having toy soldiers if you don't play with toy soldiers?
Oh man, I've had an amazing morning here in the studio, just coming in, moving soldiers around. We thought Normans versus Vikings because we're thinking, we could shoehorn this into being a Norman castle.
Oh, easily. They were famed for it, and it gives that whole feel of the Viking TV show coming to sack Paris. So
yes, we even have a dockland over here. There's like a planky bit. We could think like the ships have just arrived off to the side here, and now the Viking hordes have come onto the land and they've started to raid the village.
Sweeping in, and we even have Norman knights sallying forth to try and put a dent in the Vikings.
Yeah, well, because we were thinking, like, if we were going to play this scenario, now the obvious thing to do as a defender is to sit in your castle and do nothing.
Yes.
Right?
There's very little reason to ever come outside those walls if you have a well inside.
which
they
we do. Come on, check out the whale.
You've got your water, you've got your food stores.
Yeah.
There's no reason to open those gates ever.
So what we were thinking is we're gonna say first we're thinking of scenarios and stuff to play.
Yeah.
So we were thinking, okay, we need a reason for them to come out and attack. We can't just sit in the castle.
Yeah.
So we've decided, okay, maybe the siege has been going on for a while and they're trying to break it, or maybe the siege is just about to begin and they've realized they don't have enough food stock to last the siege, so they're trying to break this assault before it gets to the point where the Vikings can siege the castle.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing about Saga is there's a very simple set of scenarios, and when there's one harry and burn, where your opponent gains victory points for every building that they set on fire.
Yeah.
So the idea that the Vikings are coming, they food store plus civilians inside, so they need to get those out, and the Vikings could just start building up victory points. So as a Norman, you can't let them do that. So you have to open the gates, sally forth, try and stop that from happening. Yeah. But by opening the gates and going forth, it means you're kind of leaving yourself vulnerable here. So if the Vikings do a bit sneak, they could try and get in and break the siege from behind. So you've got to try and defend the gate and try and defend the village in front.
I like the burning the village sort of idea because
I always like burning villages.
If we look down here,
I'm like Trogdor in that respect.
Some of at least one of the buildings is an actual sort of a ruin, so that kind of gives us a reason as to why one's been ruined. Maybe that's burnt out for a while. Because, this battle could be raging for hours, maybe a couple of days. They've been facing off against each other, and these guys have finally decided, right, Norman Knights time, let's break their lines, let's just charge out the door and smash them.
That's it.
And then...
Part of the point, there's a Viking warlord who's got far too close to the front here.
Yeah, this guy here.
Yeah, and if anybody needs it, he needs it.
So we're thinking Norman warlord spots him, leads the charge out through the gate, looks epic, everyone's happy.
Everybody's happy.
But we're thinking we're going to have to, if we're going to play this scenario, and I think we should, I definitely think we have to play this scenario where we have like Vikings raiding. We're probably going to fiddle around with the Saga rules a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because as it stands, if I'll give you that, if you're a Norman archer shooting down, that's about as far as you're going to shoot.
Yeah, it really is dropping off quite dramatically there. I mean, there's no length.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, so to add a bit more length to their abilities, we were thinking if we double their length.
Double it.
Right? Because the higher the platform they're on, the further they're going to shoot. So we were thinking for these high towers.
Instead of just this, it's long in Saga, it's actually 12 inches.
Yeah.
But we were thinking for the elevation here, you could push that out to 24.
Which would give you this range.
And all of a sudden that becomes a much more interesting proposition for anybody attempting to come near.
Oh, you can shoot right down into the middle of the village.
Yeah, you see.
Oh, amazing.
Now all of a sudden the villagers in these houses don't look quite as inviting a target to be raped, pillaged and burnt.
Exactly.
So...
And then for the lower elevation, we were thinking we would go a long plus a medium, maybe?
Plus a medium, yep. So it gives it an additional 6 inches, and again, it just gives that little bit extra room for the defenders to actually engage targets a bit further away from the walls.
And because the Norman force that we have in here is obviously smaller than the amount of Vikings, we could maybe even throw some more Vikings in. That would even the odds up because the archers are able to shoot further as the horde comes in.
Yeah.
So we don't need as many Normans.
No.
And the guys shooting back, we're going to just keep at the regular range.
Yeah,
so,
if they want to start engaging here, they're going to need to close right up to just in front of the walls, at which point they become a prime target for...
So what we'll probably find is those archer units are designed essentially to break the likes of a knight's charge.
Yeah, so...
Because horses hate archers, apparently.
They do. They're absolutely terrible. And that's a fact that you want to forget whenever we play with my Irish, because I have horses. Don't worry about the archers then.
What we haven't thought through is what happens when we get to the castle walls. Like, what would be the win scenario? Like, do the Vikings just need to get to the castle walls and like touching it sort of thing? Let's say X amount of Vikings got to the walls, therefore we automatically go into siege mode because the Normans would retreat into the castle?
Could do. There's a few different ways to play it, depending on, because obviously there's generally turn lengths as well, so it might be a set number of buildings destroyed, or feeling that you could give victory points for each of the models that touch the base. So essentially they've got some form of planks or ladders with them. They're not there on the units, but they have them. So if you get...
Let's say this is a ladder for now.
So let's say this unit gets up there, and if you just have them in contact with the wall...
And then they roll to see if they can get their ladder up.
Well, yeah. And every Mini in Saga has a victory point, and it's a slaughter point. They call it normally. It's what you get when they're dead. But if we reverse that, so Hearthguard are worth 1 point if they get against the wall.
Yeah.
Warriors are worth half a point, and then the levy are 3 points. So to get extra victory points, you get your better troops against the wall and up and over.
So you would be tempted then to throw your crappier troops forward to absorb all the shots while you're trying to deal with this, and then get your which
is how sieges work. You never send your good unless you've got the forlorn hope. You never send your good guys in first.
Maybe we should also tweak the rules to have a bit of target priority, because like if there was warriors here already coming up the ladders or trying to get up the ladders, these guys are obviously going to shoot the warriors. You're going to shoot who's putting you under the most pressure, which then gives your Hearthguard the chance to rush up and get to the wall. Things like that would be really cool.
Yeah, it's things we can toy with and bring in.
Trying to make sure that, yes, the village and all is really cool over here, but I want the main focus of the battle to be smash the castle, essentially. Don't let them get back inside if their assault fails. Or maybe it's a two-parter. Maybe we play a game, see what happens, and if they end up retreating, we play a different game where we are actually sieging. Yeah. We need siege engines, Jared.
We do need siege engines, which means breaking out the balsa wood, I think.
Aren't Firestorm going to do a Kickstarter?
Firestorm are talking about a Kickstarter, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some lovely battering rams, some of the housed rams as well, and the actual siege towers. And I think they even had some trebuchet and mangonels, big artillery pieces to really batter it down. At which point,
that would be a fair distance off, though, probably that Kickstarter. And then you've got to wait in delivery time. So I think we might be looking into. Do we have time to build? Do you have time to build something? Because I don't.
I always have time to build something. And siege engines are remarkably simple. Yeah. If you want, I could do something and throw it on the site.
Because I know that you're next army. We're getting into a little bit of stuff. But I have to raise it. Yeah. You're thinking of going Normans.
Oh, I'm so going Normans.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
You got the hobby horn now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
There's a new range of Normans coming from Footsore, I think, in January. Sculpted by Paul Hicks. And when I seen the first couple of test sculpts, it was like, I need these in my life.
Oh man. Right.
And the nice thing is it's Normans, so they work for here in medieval Europe, and then if I want to throw them on a sand table against some Saracens, then they become early Crusaders.
You could probably repaint this as well if you wanted to do that sort of Crusader castles. You could just make this a sandy colour instead.
Well, that's it. Well, these come pre-painted, so you're...
Yeah, everything you see here come out of the box just looking like this, so they're all pre-paints.
So it's nice to get it on the table quickly, but if you want to go that extra mile, or if you want to tailor it to scenery you have or boards you already have, then you can just go ahead and just reprime it and go nuts.
All the wee scatter bits come out pre-painted, so there's some barrels and some crates and things. The only bit that I'm a little bit weirded out about is this, but I guess from a fantasy point of view that's kind of cool, but we were both looking at it going, if we're going to keep that, let's paint it stone.
Yeah, I think if this castle had that much gold sitting outside the front door, I'd be leading a force to come and take it.
And we'd go to the door and then say, we're done, we're away, yep, we're away.
Fetch me a cart.
Yeah, so it's looking really good. Just to remind you, it's the GameMat.EU castle set ×2 that you're seeing here, the village set ×2, and the GMAT, which is really cool. I was having a wee chat about it with Justin just before he came into the studio. I think the only thing that we're missing is maybe a little bit of greenery would have been nice to give us an excuse to put in some trees. Yeah. Because the trees look a little bit weird if you just drop them into the middle of cobblestones.
I'm with you. You've got a nice bit of dirt here with nothing on it.
Dirt.
There you go, see?
So
job's a good one.
What I was thinking is we could maybe make some set down area terrain with some trees.
Yeah.
So you have a tree line, and that way you could have the forest become emerging from the forest to attack the castle.
Especially that corner there where we have our pier.
Yeah.
From all the bit where that could just become the outskirts going into the forest. You could just set something over that. Yeah. That would be ideal. Right.
Back to the studio.
From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com. It's time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com.
Oh man, looking awesome. Oh, we had to stop. We had to stop there because
you were going to start playing the game if we didn't stop the video there.
We could have done an hour just talking about ideas of what to do with that terrain.
You'd watch that, wouldn't you? You don't need the rest of this Weekender. No, we go back in next door.
I like the way your hand just
Go back
gestured
in
over me,
next door.
Jerry. Thanks very much.
You know.
Don't need anyone else, just Saga, man. Saga. It's about time we had some Saga on Beast of War.
Saga.
Videos.
Saga?
Saga
Saga?
video time.
Do I hear Saga? We're going to talk more about Saga in the backstage. Because there's details about Saga 2. More details have emerged.
Details.
So we're going to talk about that in the backstage. So if you're interested in that, come on over and check it out.
Join us tomorrow.
But that's for tomorrow. Like Jerry says, it's news time now. What's up first? Ben, I'll come to you. What's up first in the news, mate?
So the first piece of news we're actually going to be looking at is some future previews of what's coming out for Fallout Wasteland Warfare, which is the Modiphius game. The big thing they showed off was possibly their largest miniature to date,
yeah.
which is going to be called the Mirelurk Queen. Now, anyone who's played Fallout will know exactly what this is, but this is an absolutely monstrous piece that you'll be hunting down on the tabletop. So if you're going to do a lot of the sort of cooperative side of things, I always love a little bit of monster hunting on the tabletop, especially in skirmish games, and this one's looking absolutely, horrifying, basically, I guess you'd say. Yeah.
It's super gribbly. It's exactly when it brought me back when I looked at it straight away to playing Fallout and actually thinking about trying to snipe those guys right in their little small wriggly faces. Have you ever played Fallout? The VAT system is a way you can allocate shots without actually having to be good at the game. It's great.
This is the Fallout 4.
This is
from?
I don't know if it was in the previous Fallout. It's not definitely in Fallout 4.
I'm trying to remember which one I've played. I stopped playing it when giant ants started chasing me around the place. I was like, nope.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of them.
I'm done. No.
This is like a giant ant that stands upright, spits at you, and will swarm you with like 4 or 5 of its bodies.
It's going to take more than a topical cream to get rid of that crab, isn't it?
What else did they have, Ben?
So as well as that, they've also got the announcement of the new power armor set. So this comes with 3 sort of different heads. So based on the survivor that you picked, be it male, female, or just the helmeted version, you can switch things out and play around with these. So if you've got, if you're a fan of magnets, you can use those to decide, who suits up in the power armor when. So again, it's just a really cool sort of option to add a little bit more customization into the mix. And then this is also followed by the announcement of a whole bunch of objective tokens as well. And all of these have been done so they narratively fit into the world.
Ben, that's just a toilet with a skeleton, mate.
That's
that
one
is
hell of a
someone,
party.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's someone who has had the worst hangover in the world.
That's exactly what they've called it. I think they just called it the worst hangover or something like that. So it's someone who's clearly partied too hard in the vault or drank the wrong kind of Kool-Aid, maybe, and things have just gone very, very downhill for him.
But here's the thing:
toilet wine.
someone has come along and lifted the head off the rest of the body, moved its head into the cistern, but kept the hat on it.
Yeah.
Why run a good party look?
And then what else would we have? The second one? Oh, that's nifty. So it's a wee briefcase with the little cassette. They're not cassette tapes. They're just like video or voice messages. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, they've tried to tie everything in narratively into what you'd be doing if you're going around the world in Fallout, and obviously they want that in the tabletop game as well, which is really cool. So yeah, looking good.
Have any of you guys? I know nothing about this tabletop game. What is it? Is it formed into a proper tabletop game or what?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So whenever we were at Essen, Justin actually got to sit down with the Modiphius guys, stand and play a full tabletop version of it.
Yeah.
And it's just what you'd imagine from a usual tabletop skirmish game. You're going to have all your cards for your characters. You're going to have units. You're going to have objectives and scenarios. And you're going to have usual kind of combat you'd expect, isn't it? It's just Fallout miniature based. There's nothing more to be said. It's kind of just
sweet.
Exactly. It's what you expect.
Okay. Next up, we've got something called Twisted. What's this, Ben?
Yeah, so Demented Games actually released Twisted very recently. I think it was the start of this month. And they're now actually expanding their lineup of miniatures with a whole bunch of different characters. This one is looking absolutely fantastic. And I just had to bring it up because the paint job on the model that they've done for the studio is just amazing. This is Alchemancer, and they're slightly deranged creature that is called Bloodrage, that is sort of the muscle behind the scientist, I guess you'd say.
Nice.
But yeah, the world that the guys at Demented Games have been putting together is absolutely amazing, and Twisted is one of those fascinating original worlds that they've done that is totally unlike anything that you see out there. Clearly there's a lot of steampunk inspired stuff going on here, but it's all done with a very interesting and unique twist to it, and all of the models are very, very close to the artwork that we see for the game as well. But yeah, an amazing model for this one.
Loving the whole voodoo thing that's going on. That's really cool.
I really love just the little hand puppet.
Yeah.
He's got, that's cute.
On the elbow there.
No,
the other guy's got his hand up a puppet.
What's that one?
That's a puppet.
He's going.
Well, we assume it's a puppet. Who knows? Look.
Oh, that's creepy. That is creepy.
He's like the guy from South Park.
Yeah, Mr. Garrison and Mr.
Mr. Head.
Mr. Hat.
Mr. Hat.
Yeah. He's got a rat on his hat. So. based on absolutely nothing except those miniatures, I would buy all of that because that just looks great.
Anybody know what the Twisted game actually is? I mean, what's it all about? Anybody know?
So in the game, what you'll be doing is you're playing as a whole bunch of different gangs, as you might imagine, in sort of like a steampunky style world.
Yeah.
And it's all about fighting over the streets of London and stuff. They actually have, I think it's the two gangs out at the moment, the Urchins, and I can't remember what the other one's called. I think it's to do with science. But they're basically like the street urchins and stuff. And you've got the hoi polloi and the gentlemen as well, fighting over the streets and things. And yeah, as I say, the two war bands are out there now. You can get the rule book and sort of have a go at it. You can download some free stuff in PDF as well as checking out some of the other characters that they've done as sort of one-offs at the same time too. So yeah, it's going well for them. Yeah.
Well, if you're liking that sort of stuff, you'll probably like what comes up next. We've got a special festive crew coming out for Malifaux.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is going to be the crew that Malifaux sort of do every year. They kind of do a little bit of a spin on things for Black Friday and stuff in the lead up to Christmas. This time they've gone for Rasputina and they've brought out this awesome festive crew, as you can see here. All of the models are representative of the models that you would normally get in her starter set. So it allows you to actually play with these on the tabletop, which is really cool. But as you can see, you've got Rasputina there, and then you've got a mix of other ones there. So you've got Krampus, who a lot of people will know, playing Snowstorm there. You've got the Beast in the Box replacing the Wendigo, and then you've got all the little tiny snowmen who replace the Ice Garmins from the box as well.
So this is like a remap of a faction.
Yeah, so it's basically just a fun and interesting sort of new take on the faction. That means that you can, have a little sort of original warband on the tabletop, which is really cool. And obviously, it's something nice and festive for Christmas. So potentially a good present for someone, I guess you'd say.
How the hell do you paint a snowman?
White with blue shading.
Yes.
Yes.
Yellow shading?
How would someone who's
never
yellow
yellow.
how is someone who's not great at painting do it? Could you wash it with blue?
Yeah.
Do you think that would work?
Yeah, oh yeah. Definitely just a very light, very pale, like a sky blue or possibly an Andrea blue would work as well.
Yeah, and
then just a nice thin wash, like almost like a glaze, just into the recesses, and you're good to go.
Ooh, because I kind of like the snowman actually.
Yeah, the snowmen look great. The
But I was sitting
little
pondering,
presents look
I don't
really
know if I
nice.
could be able to pull that white off, because I had I look on the Hobby Night Live ages ago. I painted the
autumn tree thing?
no, the guy from the Spanish crew for
Blood and Blunder.
Blood and Blunder,
Yeah.
and had his white shirt. And I've since done a little bit of shading on it. It's not so much white anymore. It's more like yellow, because I was hitting it with some. I kind of preferred it in the new yellow fashion, but I just struggle with the idea of painting white, because for me, white is the ultimate brightness.
Yeah.
Just you don't get
Well,
brighter than white.
That's it. You've got to shade white down in the same way when you're painting black. You can't shade black, so you've got to highlight. They're the two worst by far and away to paint. But I think even a light blue wash and then zenith highlight with an airbrush, and then that'll put the white back on top, and we'll just leave the lower recesses will be blue. So that'll be like the ice shading on it. So yeah, it should be a winner.
That's right.
And I could do the baking soda basing on that again.
Oh yeah.
You know the stuff you did
There
with
you go.
skeletons?
Yeah.
That'd be a cool way of basing those. Ooh, sweet.
Why was the snowman looking through the carrots?
I have no idea. Why did the snowman look through the carrots?
He was picking his nose.
Oh no.
We all knew that was coming.
What's up next?
Have you got any more of those to get out of your system?
100 more.
Right,
Christmas
come
is coming, and Christmas is my time of year
This
to
is
shine.
one more. Come on.
This is one more. What
Yeah.
kind of cars does Santa's little helpers drive?
I don't know. What type of cars does Little Santa's helpers drive?
Toyotas.
Oh my god.
Oh my
I
God.
regret asking now. Moving on. Moving on.
yourself
Ben,
to blame.
save us. Save us. Hopefully there's some more news. Save us.
Yeah, so the next news is actually some stuff coming out of Post-Industrial Games, and this is for Human Interface Necromunda-style, who a lot of people will know that we've talked about in the past. We've done a really cool sort of article on them way back when we were doing the magazine last year as well, which was really cool. But this is one of their new models that they've been working on in the wake of their second Kickstarter, which is expanding the lineup, throwing a couple of plastic miniatures into the mix as well. This is their Pounder Mech, which I thought was really cool, and it's sort of like an additional sort of facilitator for keeping the streets clean, I suppose you'd say, in your cyberpunk world. You can imagine this being deployed by the police to keep those reprobates and gangs at bay, and it just looks absolutely amazing. It's a fantastic sort of idea that they've gone with, a nice concept, and it's been realised very nicely as well. It's going to be going into production very, very soon, and again, it's one of those things that's really nice to see that the game isn't just whatever was delivered by Kickstarter. They're continuing to carry on with this through a whole bunch of different releases with individual characters and stuff like this with the Pounder Mech. So yeah, it's just really cool to see this game continue to go from strength to strength. I totally need to pick up some of these miniatures because I just want to paint some cyberpunk stuff and go with some crazy lurid colours as well. But this is a little bit more of the sort of grungy side of things, I suppose you'd say. A little bit more sort of smashing people to death. Lots of blood, maybe. Yeah.
I continue to love the human interface range.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And what I like most about this particular mech is it actually shows the pilot.
Yeah.
Pilot's sitting in the middle. It's not one of these ones where it's in there somewhere and doesn't physically actually work.
Yes.
It's like the power loader.
I did not even.
Yeah.
Didn't catch that at all at the first glance.
Which I like because you get things like dreadnoughts and whatnot. You know there's someone in there or bits of someone in there, but you never get to see how it actually works.
Weirdly, one of the things I like are the joints in the lower legs have got like a covering, like there's some sort of plastic tarp to prevent things getting in there, so it's not just bare metal.
That's a good
It looks like it's an actual thing, and they need to protect the working parts on it. You know, it's a made working piece.
Yeah, which is kind of cool because most of the time we're just like, show us all the details.
Yeah.
Whereas in reality, like if you
be hiding them away,
stuff exposed, it wouldn't move.
Yeah, people
just
would be pulling them out.
halt.
There's a cable. I'll pull that cable out. Oh, your thing's not moving anymore. Unlucky. That'll teach you. Next time you'll keep it covered up.
It is sweet to see that range keeps expanding.
Yeah.
It's still a board game though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still a board game. Although with the second Kickstarter they kind of expanded it beyond the realms of just these narrative scenarios. They also developed a way for you to play a little bit like a gang-on-gang warfare. So you know how with Star Wars Imperial Assault you have the ability to play the story missions, but you can also play competitively against each other.
Yeah.
They've kind of done the same thing in the new Hint version as well. So you can not only play through the story missions and develop your characters that way and do a sort of role-playing side of things, you can also do a very competitive gang versus gang mentality as well, which is really cool. So.
That's a great little segue because we're going to take a quick break, but then we're going to be back to talk about more gangs.
Whoa.
Because you've been getting seriously excited about this room. What is it? Gangs of Rome?
Gangs of Rome.
All I'm hearing on Facebook is Lloyd Gangs of Rome. On the phone, Lloyd Gangs of Rome. At the club, Gangs of Rome. They've even sent me a coin, Lloyd. They've sent me a coin.
It's bribery. Really, it's bribery what they're doing. What's that? Coins in the post, you say? Why, thank you, sir, I will.
Yeah. Right, we'll take a quick break, type out some hubs, and then we're going to be back to talk about that.
Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War Hub. Take command of elves, dwarves, and orcs in this game of massed fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com. Twisted aliens and demented cultists battle across the devastating science fiction world of Dark Age. Muster your forces and learn to survive at beastsofwar.com.
This guy's excited. You
I'm
can't
great.
see it yet, but like this is excitement.
bubbling, seething, roiling underneath.
You've been talking about this game for a while, but it's only recently in the last few days that Andy Hobday's been on Facebook and he's been putting out stuff
They've been slowly building. For a couple of weeks now, you've been getting little teasers, and they've been doing little sort of stories online, so little fluff pieces about these fighters.
Okay.
And then over the past sort of week, they've just started adding more and more pictures of some of the minis, and then and feeding more sort of info through about it.
So Gangs of Rome.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's in the title. Are we gangs fighting in Rome?
You are in Rome, and you are in gangs. Essentially, the premise behind it is you're a leader of a house. You're a dominus. And the idea is you want to become a senator, you want to become the big political ruling elite. So you get your money, you start hiring in some thugs, and then you start gaining influence by dealing with those around you.
This is like Rome the TV show.
It's exactly like Rome the TV show.
I have this now. Go and watch Rome the TV show. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Very much so. See, you see where I'm at. You see what?
Yeah.
Tell you, Andy Suetonius Paulinus, he's champing at the bit for this as well. Obviously, he's a massive Rome fan, so I have to be very careful here because I know bits about history, but I don't want Andy and Ben coming and tracking me down to the next boot camp and snapping me for butchering history. So the basic idea for Gangs of Rome is you have a small group of fighters. They've worked sort of between 3 and 10 kind of thing, with sort of the average being 5 guys. And you play, it's all scenario play. So even though you're playing linked games to become essentially a senator at the end of the day, unlike Necromunda or Mordheim, your gangers don't get better because people don't suddenly become super
Yeah.
just because you've stabbed somebody up in the street.
So it's more real.
It's much more realistic. So the idea is your gang is whoever you've managed to recruit, and off the back of that, it's up to you as the head of the house as to how best you use your gang. So when you're playing a scenario, you work out the scenario first. So in a lot of games, you would go, right, here's my gang, and now we're going to roll for scenario. Oh, it's this. But no, the way Gangs of Rome is set is you work out your scenario, and it's like, okay, who do I have? Who's on the payroll? Who's on the payroll who could do this thing? Who's on the payroll who could assassinate that guy or steal that bit of information? And then you tailor your gang to go and do this thing, to go off and do the mission.
That's really awesome. I like that approach to it a lot, actually.
There's some absolutely beautiful ideas that they've come up with for it.
With this in mind, you said something to me about nobody's gang member is going to be the same as everybody else's gang member. Everybody's individual. What do you mean? What's going on?
Everybody's individual. There are no two people the same in the world.
So no two stat lines will match for any of the characters. Is that
theoretically, Andy has a bit of an IT background, and what he's done is he's come up with a program, and so they randomly generate all the characters. So whenever you buy a gang member, we could buy the same one. We could go, right, well, that miniature looks cool. I like that miniature. I want that. You don't know what the character stats are. Everyone's blind.
Wow.
But there are none are going to be the same. So they're all within certain tolerances. So no, you won't get one that's complete dung. Everybody has pros and cons. So they might be slightly worse off in agility, but might have a better special role. So you get them. And then once you've got them, they're stat cards. So it doesn't really matter what way you go. You could go, right, well, this card's great. Actually, I really want to play these couple of figures that I've got. So you can start mixing and matching cards to men. We could trade. I'll trade you 2 of my mercenaries for one of your. You could indeed go, because the other thing about it is there are 4 sort of areas that you recruit from in Rome, and they are also random on the card. So you get.
You mean like regions of the city?
Yeah.
Slums, that sort of thing?
So exactly. So you've got 4 regions at the moment, and the idea is they could expand. So you've got Aventine, Palatine, Circus Maximus, and Subura. Probably not pronounced correctly. But if you get all your gang members from the same region, then they get certain bonuses. They know each other, they've worked together, they have a similar style of fighting, but it also means they interact better with each other, but you're more limited in what they could do. Whereas if you have more, I'll get a couple of hard hitters from Aventine, I'll get somebody who's a bit sneakier from Palatine. They haven't been raised and fought and worked together, so they block line of sight because they know their friend behind them wouldn't throw a javelin in the back, but maybe this guy who they've just picked up yesterday, well, he's not going to start throwing pilums around the street in case he hits somebody in front of him. So you've got this sort of, you can have a more diverse gang, but then the restrictions, because they're not all as confident working with each other, or you can have a more restrictive set of gang members, and therefore you have that sort of flexibility where you're actually fighting and playing, where they're not blocking each other.
That sounds pretty cool.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a thing of beauty.
I think we'll come back and talk more about that. Can we have your little coin for a start?
Yeah. What they've been doing recently is teasing, and so whenever you grab
there we go.
Whenever you got an order in from Footsore, and I picked up some picks recently, and in the bag with the picks was this little Gangs of Rome denarii. And this is another feature of the game, because apart from having the stack cards for the miniatures, you also get a blister pack contains a miniature, which is a body, I think 3 heads, and then like a little sprue with multiple hands with different weapons. Okay. And so you can build them whatever way you want.
Mixes it up.
Yeah,
then.
But it's not a WYSIWYG game. You don't have to represent what they have on them.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of WYSIWYG.
So then you also get your stack card.
Yeah.
You get a dice with Roman numerals. So, obviously VI is much better than X. Oh, sorry, I.
So what have they been releasing picture-wise? Do we have pictures?
We've got great pictures.
Is there an article or went out recently about this?
Yeah, one went up yesterday. So, the Gangs of Rome.
Yeah.
If you stop there, this is one of the pre-order characters,
Bring
who's
Ben
going
back in. There we
to
go.
be a special character in the game, and he's going to be available if you pre-order. I think the pre-order goes up next week, and when the pre-order goes up, the website also goes live, and we'll have the full rules available as a free PDF download.
Sweet.
So they are doing a book version for old
Yeah.
crusty people like myself who can't use modern technology, but for the kids and the youth of today with their Apple iPhone things and stuff and their Samsung Galaxies, they can just poke away at that.
A book will never explode and go on fire in your pocket, Jerry.
Exactly.
You're just fine. You're just
yeah,
fine.
fine. I'll get a PDF and I'll print it out until the actual lovely hard copy of the book arrives.
And so what scale is this in?
This is 28mm, so that's Paul Hicks has sculpted a few characters for them, but most of the sculpting's been done by Steve Sala. And this is another one of the, I think she's another pre-order character, Persephone.
Yeah. And you see the way those bases, if you just click that image, this might be one of their fancy bases, because I've
is,
seen a
yeah.
video, see the way that base is in 2 layers?
Yeah.
Right. I did see a video appear online where you put the top layer on top of a little disc, and what it does is there's 2 wee notches at the back. I don't know if we have any pictures of this. Do we have any
I
pictures
don't
of
think
this?
there's any
No.
pictures of the jigsaw.
Well, there's 2 wee
bases.
notches, and then you can drop in like your wounds and something else,
And it'll hold
Yeah.
in place.
and it holds in place
Yeah.
and follows your character around, which look pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
so essentially to cut down on the clutter on the board, and because you can have those cards you can change, so you've got your 5 cards and you go, well, I'm only going to be playing with 3 characters today, I'm going to play with these 3, so you can put in a little like number 1, number 2, number 3, and then that way you know which card is which fighter in the streets, and then the other one is the wounds, because as you start taking wounds, your movement reduces. You can actually be hit by like a gusher, so it's a big strike to like a major artery, and all of a sudden you don't get to do anything else because you're just trying to staunch the blood flow that turn. So the little red wound counter, when it sort of hits 1, has got lots of little drips coming off it, you know, so that you've got your wounds and then a way of marking who is who when you're playing. So you're not playing a game with 5 counters following you around the streets, leaving a trail.
And I want a character that just runs about doing gushers, just
Oh, yeah.
Achilles tendons left, right, and centre, just disabling people for rounds. Just
That's the way to go.
Oh, I feel sore already just thinking about it. Anytime I see that in movies where they just cut through the tendons, you're like, oh, freaks me out.
And here we have a gang, and as you can see, as a domini of a house, you're an equal opportunities employer. So you've got both the male and female gang members there.
very importantly, you've also got redheads. Just want to point that out.
Well, yeah,
Because we were around back in Roman times.
very true. Everybody loves a redhead. And again, you can see they've just got various weapons, but the idea is, go back to the coins, you've got a model on the street, and you might have, in the blister pack, you get 4 random coins, and the coins can be things like a gladius.
These coins.
Well, the ones in the actual blister won't be metal. They'll just be a little like cardboard counter type of thing. So you can have you build essentially a hand of coins, and the coins are equipment. So you could give somebody like a guard dog, or a gladius, or a javelin, or a handful of pepper to throw in somebody's eyes.
Oh, that's cool.
But it goes face down, and your opponent doesn't know, because essentially you're just toga-wearing Romans wandering down the street, and then somebody decides to start with you, and they come up, go to attack, and that's when you flip the coin over and go, I think you'll find I've got a massive canine here.
Do you know what would be really cool?
One
See, talking about the
straight in there.
tokens alongside the characters, if you had a mob of, say, 20 models, numbered 1 to 20, and you kept your numbers secret, and you had to have your opponent working through the mob, trying to find out where you guys were among the mob. With that numbering system, you could really...
It's funny you mentioned the word mob.
Oh,
One of the absolutely beautiful things they've done with this is mob. Rome is the mob, as Brother Cadfile said. I may be mixing up those characters a little, but unlike Necro, unlike Mordheim, Volsung, or any of these other skirmish games I've played over the years, it's not a sterile environment. There are people in the streets.
oh, I love it.
Some of the scenarios will have more than others, and they'll just be little like PDF templates that you can print out, so you can just have like little discs of people. But I think Paul Hicks is sculpting just civilian figures too. So if you want to actually have a mob, you can have that. And the thing is, you can interact with the mobs. So if you're wandering about,
Think
and
Assassin's Creed in Rome.
Yeah.
exactly, you're wandering around, you shiv somebody, then you can disappear into the mob, and then later on come out from another mob token somewhere else as you blend into the crowd and run away. Or you shiv somebody, the mob stand and watch, because everybody likes a bit of street theatre. Or you shiv somebody, the mob panic, stampede, you get run over in the stampede. You're not just fighting 5 guys against 5 guys in bare, empty alleys. You're fighting 5 guys against 5 guys in a living city, and that has consequences. You might have somebody equipped with a pilum, with a javelin, so if they're carrying a big, massive stick, you can't hide in the mob with that. So that coin that they've got, you have to chuck it before you disappear into the mob. So you can't sneak off because people can see you running down the street waving a stick above your head.
Yeah.
Dump the stick.
Dump the stick.
Dump the stick.
Wow.
This sounds cool, and it brings me on to another subject. You're talking about the city and stuff.
Yeah.
I believe they've been working with Sarissa, is it?
They've been working with Sarissa.
To create a range of scenery and stuff for this game.
We're very lucky. They've sent us an exclusive picture of a building under construction. Now, Sarissa's made 30 buildings apparently, and so far they've only shown us this and a Colosseum. And the Colosseum is 2 foot across. It's mighty. But the idea is they don't want to show off anything else until they've got everything painted and can actually just go, you want to see Rome? Here's Rome.
Ooh.
Now this is very exciting
my
because
word.
this is 2 foot. It's a proper Colosseum. It's a feature. It is practically a table piece in itself. And at the moment on their face page, whenever they hit 2,000 members, somebody's going to get that. That somebody would happily be me. I'll have that.
Wait, there you go. Do it now.
Me.
Not him. Nah. He's got enough.
I don't.
Have you seen the amount of stuff he has?
No, but
Is
no.
it come unpainted?
It's Sarissa, so it's unpainted, but you can paint
That's
it very
definitely not
quickly.
for you. It's definitely not for you. You have no time to paint that.
Time to
You got
paint.
Normans to do.
I can paint. This will be out at the same time as the Norman. Just
But-
hit it with spray cans.
Actually, we were talking about
Yeah.
that before we came on.
Oh.
Because we were having a chit chat about Sarissa making the stuff, we were having a quick think about what the colours would be.
Yeah.
So we were thinking, very quickly, you could go with a skelly bone
Yeah.
as your base
That's your
colour,
plaster done. Yep.
and a fur brown,
And that's your terracotta tiles.
and that's essentially you done.
Yeah.
You could do a little bit of white highlighting over that,
Oh no, that's too much.
and do a little bit of washing in that, and you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
that's, if we ever get any of that stuff in, that's essentially what we're going to do.
I think that'll be a winner. The idea is you can build as much of Rome as you can afford or want
Well,
to
we've
go
got
for or
pictures.
whatever. But yeah, so
You've been
It's-
rustling through your
Oh.
books.
it's very scenario based, but the idea behind it is these 30 buildings, and some of them it's not just like a small building. I think the smallest is like 1 foot, so it's like a row of houses. So you can actually build the streets. But we've got things like this might be an idea where you don't have to do the inner city of Rome,
So
but
let's say there's the sort of the city
yeah.
part,
So there's the
but if you notice,
heading out. And then
Oh.
out in the actual suburbs, you have a Colosseum outside. So you actually could bring in then a bridge, river, fields, a bit of greenery. You don't have to go
Yeah.
for just the regular city fighting.
so say if the Colosseum was for you, then you could just have like 1 or 2 buildings on the edge
Yeah.
just to represent the edge of the city,
And
which would be really cool.
yeah. And I think they're actually tying some scenarios to the buildings as well. So if you get the building, you'll get a scenario that will tie in with it.
Oh, man.
I love the idea of the Colosseum having an event on and a rival gang, like from outside of
Yeah.
Rome coming in, and you've just said, no, these guys are not welcome here, and you guard the other side of the bridge and you meet at either side and come across. Just
You've enough to deal with inside Rome. You don't want to bring in more people.
But if you had the time, look at the sort of stuff. you
oh
could be
my
doing.
word.
Yeah, I mean, right there. That's easily a 6x4 you could knock out in a weekend there, Lloyd.
That's more than 6x4.
Ah, well,
that
yeah,
itself's
maybe.
a 6x4. You'd probably
Maybe
this
a
is
little bit.
essentially this. See this bit here, with maybe that to the edge
Yeah.
of it. That would make a great
so
gaming
that's
table.
the one
for
you're going to
this.
make then.
Just because I found colours doesn't mean I'm going to do that for you.
Very mean. It's very mean to me.
You had me paint your sheets, for goodness sakes.
If you
Not
love me, you will
making
paint
room
my
for
sheet.
you.
That's what Jesus said.
Ben,
So yeah,
I'll come back to you, but I don't bring Ben in. Ben, what do you think, mate? Are you excited about this game?
Yeah, I've always loved the idea of lots of skirmish games. That seems to be the thing that I'm sort of gravitating towards at the moment anyway. And so this sounds like it's going to be fascinating because I've never really experienced that in the kind of the sort of the theatre of sort of ancient world.
Yeah.
Because obviously we've got a lot of skirmish games that are out there for sort of the medieval period, Dark Ages, and the future and stuff and things. But this is the first time we're actually looking at Rome from a very different lens. So instead of it being all about the armies, it's going to be a lot more about the people and stuff as well. And I just love that mob mentality rule. I just love that idea of like disappearing into crowds, shivving people, appearing somewhere else, and telling this really interesting and narrative story on the tabletop. I think it's going to be very, very cool. And obviously, the tables are going to look absolutely fantastic for this. And so I'm on Jerry's side that I want you to go and build some tables now. So, yeah.
That's 2-1 now. So
I don't bow to peer pressure.
oh, all right. All right.
That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Here you go. There's a fur brawn. Get started yourself. Before we move on, is there more stuff you want to cover here, Jared? Because I know that you've been swatting up on this for a little while now.
Well, yeah. There's
Have we more pictures that we haven't gone through
yeah.
yet?
There's a picture of one of the fighter cards there. Bring that up. It gives you a rough idea of what's going on with it. So every one of these is unique. So you're not going to be able to see, or theoretically, it doesn't matter where you are in the world or what you buy.
Is this the thing that gets generated?
Yeah, so these are generated and then
Okay.
packaged with miniatures. So you can see there's a very simple set of numbers down the left, which is the wounds, your fight stat, your defense stat. That, I'm not entirely certain what that little wing thing is. And then the bottom is the cost. And then they also have a little fighter story behind them and what their skill is. So this one, the fighter can never be subject to the mob's rage. So at no point will the mob actually attack you for doing something naughty in the street, which is nice. So you've got that. Maybe they're not as good at defense as another one, but the fact that the mob are less likely to butcher them where they stand, that might pay off, and you could use that.
I really like that. That local hero thing. It really gets the flavour of he's a get.
He's untouchable. Yeah,
but
he's one of ours.
Yeah.
The symbol in the top left-hand corner beside the name, then, is that the area of?
Yeah, that's the area they're tied to.
Yeah.
So I want to say that's Aventine, which is the sort of the between the slums and the merchant classes. It's sort of starting to get a little bit up there. So you've got like the Subaru is the worst, and excrement flows downhill, I think is the phrase. So that is just the dregs of humanity, and then it goes up the way to Palatine being the wealthiest sort of region.
Oh, we could do a sloped table then, with like fancy buildings up here and a big ship pool down here.
There are 7 hills in Rome, and that's the whole idea behind it. So you've got scope. Don't know much beyond that as far as of the actual mechanics, but here you can see this is one of the coins. So Fierce Mastiff, and again this would be hidden, so your opponent wouldn't know that you've got this until you reveal it.
But I love this track descent rule. So in mob contact, show a blended fighter that was previously engaged. That's really cool. So he's had to made first contact with the model, and then as the model disappears, he's then given chase.
Yeah,
that's so thematic.
And one of the things, like I say, I don't know about the actual technicalities of the mechanics, but one of the things Andy was saying is that if you can think of it, you can do it in the game. So there's I remember what the wings are agility. That's why. Because if you want to run up to a building that's under construction, climb the scaffolding, run across the rooftop and then jump somewhere else, there's a set of mechanics that will go, well, you need this, this and this, which means it's this agility roll. And it's not about playing on the ground, it's Rome's constantly under construction. You've got new builds going up, you've got old buildings that have been there for years and are crumbling. It's the city is as much of a character as the gangs themselves.
So a bit like Carnivale we're doing with Venice, allowing you to run across roofs and things like that to bring the actual environment in to be as important to the game as the characters.
Exactly. So you're not tied to the streets you see. You can go for those because you're only playing with a small amount of figures. You can go, right, well, how do I do this? And the mechanics are such that it should be simple enough to just go, well, we do this. It's a roll. Whatever.
I think you sold me in this.
So it's.
I want to play it.
And speaking of selling as on this, I'm assuming as then that the gangs for this are not particularly big. There's not the barrier to entry is not particularly high. Painting and hobby wise for this.
It's, like I said, I think they were saying they played a few games with sort of 5 men aside is the average. 10 would be maximum.
But you'll be buying to get multiple versions of the cards. You'll be buying lots of versions of minis. She can just paint some extra for me anyway, and I'll be grand.
I don't think we have that long. I'm not a young man. The chances of me painting 2 sets of anything. Oh.
So how many characters do we need roughly to get?
I'm going to say 5, and I think they're selling that picture we've seen earlier. I think may even be one of the starting of groups. But there's not like a box set or anything because they wanted to be as flexible as
Yeah,
possible.
so you had 6 in that.
Yeah, so it's just when you buy a blister, the blister contains all the counters, dice, card that you need, and it's just go, well,
What about the
Building
extra
them up.
wandering around people? Is it gonna be miniatures to represent
Yeah.
people just going around their daily
well,
lives
that's it. If you don't want the extra expense, you can just download the template for the footprint of the mob, and I'm assuming it'll be like a top-down. This is the mob, and you
Yeah.
can just move them around. But Paul
This
Hicks is sculpting, and this will kill my bank balance. Paul Hicks is sculpting the figures, and he's a genius anyway. But they were saying that the more you buy, the cheaper it gets for that full mob sort of feel. And it's just like, why not just turn me upside down and shake me by the ankles until all the money falls out of my pockets? Because that's more or less what's going to happen.
We could go with printed mob You could print a
paper.
mob.
Bit of paper
to get
printed.
started.
Yeah.
Which might be kind of cool. It might be kind of weird, but surely it's going to be better than just saying that round token
Yeah.
represents a person.
Yeah.
Because then we could have people carrying pots and things.
There are quite a lot of companies that do paper miniatures out there.
Yep.
Two-dimensional paper miniatures that stand upright.
We were talking
And
about them
I'm
a
just
little-
thinking, it'd be like Nog and the Nog or that type of thing. You've got little background characters, just all in paper form.
Yeah, if anybody knows of any regular Romans just going about their day,
Yeah.
drop them in the links. Or just pictures, and then you can stick them out and cut them out yourself.
Toros, Steve, because
Go on.
we know you will.
You
Find
know
them.
you want to.
In fact, they're probably in your bookmark. Just open the bookmark, send us a link.
So it's out in January, and its pre-order is
The pre-order is
Monday week.
Monday
so
week,
it's 27th,
Yeah,
I think.
27th, and like I say, that day when that goes up, the PDF becomes available as a free download, so you can see how the game plays before anything else sort of lands. Exciting times.
Sweet. Right.
Justin's gonna love this. He's gonna want to reenact Spartacus with this. Like he's gonna blood in the sands. He's gonna want to get all over this.
You see, it's only really becoming clear to me now what it is.
Mm.
Obviously, you've given
Yeah.
us a big discussion, but when I seen the Colosseum or the Colosseum and stuff, I thought, oh, is it another gladiator typey thing
No, it's
going on? But there's
it's-
no gladiators
It is very
as
much.
such. There's no Roman legionnaires or anything like that.
This is a period just after. It's set around the first AD, so it's Augustus the first emperor, and there was a period of relative peace, and then Pax Romana kicked off, where just everybody started fighting. So all the legions are currently across most of the borders of the Roman Empire, trying to suppress. So the Jewish revolt isn't long finished, and the people like Dacia, and they're everywhere. So Rome is fairly deserted at the moment as far as actual legionnaires go, which is why you can get away with a bit more. But
Hence the rise of the gangs and stuff.
And
yeah.
historically, this happened. I mean, there were things like Caesar and Pompey got together, and Crassus, and there was lots of infighting. And there were times where people were trying to get to the Senate to vote for something or to vote power either to somebody else or away from them, and they couldn't get out of the house because all of a sudden a mob would have risen up, and it was just another senator paying people to stand outside their house and kick off, and just kept them essentially housebound. And then that changed the whole dynamic in Rome, and that is what you're doing here. You are the men who want to be the next senators, and this is it's the sword is another version of politics.
What a
So-
scenario that would be. Actually having 3 or 4 voters for each side and a dozen different houses, but you had to get your voters out, but not your opponent's voters by controlling the mobs. Oh, that's good.
There's one scenario I know about. I don't know about any of the others, but the idea behind it, if you want to play it as a campaign, is when you beat somebody. So say I beat you,
Yeah.
I get a little token saying that from you, saying that I've beaten you, and that's my little personal influence marker that I've beaten Lloyd, and you know, and Ben knows that I've beaten Lloyd, and my sort of esteem goes up in Rome because I've loaded one over you. Now, in the next game we play, I could use that marker for some bonus in the game. I can only use it against Lloyd. I can't use it against anybody else because it doesn't, the fact I beat him means nothing to you.
It's not enough to be taller than me. You've got to be better
Got
than me
to
too.
beat him. I just have a stack of all my personal influence markers from all the people I beat. But when you're playing a campaign, your characters don't get any better, the gangs don't get better. But what you do is you accumulate wealth, you accumulate these markers, and we could set a 20 denarii limit, and whoever gets the 21st, they have a chance to become senator. But there's the final scenario is essentially an escort mission where your Domini is being escorted to the Senate, and all the other gangs are trying to stop him. So you've got to fight your way through the streets of Rome to get
so
your guy
good.
up there.
But you'd have your 20
But you've got your
denarii
20,
to
yeah.
pay
So,
to.
well, this is it. So you're going, do I use this in a game? and you have to decide before you play the game. You're going, I'm going to cash in this influence marker.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Do I keep it because I've got 6
More
already?
bodyguards at the end.
And you know, you're trying to get the wealth together to get there, and that's that in a nutshell is what the Gangs of Rome is all about.
Oh,
I'm sold. I am
sweet.
absolutely sold.
All right, it's exciting stuff. I'm looking out for that. I'm gonna move the show on because I want to get out of here and go and start looking for terrain and stuff. Oh no, you've almost convinced me to start doing this. No, gonna resist. Right, I'm going to move us on. We've got a Battlefoam interview coming up.
Yeah, indeed. So this is Gemma, came in from Battlefoam to have a chat to us basically about what's been happening with them, what new releases they've got coming out, tell us all about the events and stuff and the partners they're working with. So we'll take a quick break and come back with that.
Hi guys, I'm Leo from Mythic Battles and you're watching The Weekender on beastsofwar.com.
Hello everyone, today I am joined by Gemma. Thank you so much for coming in and seeing me.
Thank you, Az. Good to be here.
It's a real pleasure because for me this is really interesting. We get all sorts of companies on showing off their latest games, their latest releases, and what's coming up in the industry for them. And for me, getting some of the hobby companies, some of the terrain and some of the specialist accessories, and in this case, the Battlefoam bags, on to have a chat about what you guys are up to is really interesting to me. And it's something that we need to spend more time doing. And now that you're just across the water from us, you're just a leap, a single plane, we can potentially get you over more often.
Perfect.
Which would be great. But I want to start at the start. We're going to have a bit of a chat about Battlefoam because people like myself and maybe people who are new to the hobby, and I know at conventions you get this quite a lot, just who are Battlefoam? What is it you guys do and what is it you do within Battlefoam?
Right, well I'm the operations manager, that's my official title, but basically I run the UK warehouse. So our facility is in Southend-on-Sea.
Okay, yeah.
So in the UK.
Yeah.
And we've been there this is our 7th year now.
Oh my goodness.
So this is something I think that sometimes people may not know. So this is our opportunity to let people know. We are in the UK.
Firmly and proudly,
and we are here for our customers.
Fantastic.
So it's amazing. So we produce a range of bags. We have over 30 bags in our range now.
And just in case, just on the off chance, if you've somehow managed to miss the hub, if you've somehow managed to miss people having these at conventions, these are the kind of products that Battlefoam makes. So this is your ammo bag?
This is the ammo box bag, and it's, as all of our bags, it has a hard shell. With and this is actually this is one of our limited edition colours. But this is the quality that you're going to expect.
Now, we've talked about these guys before on the website. We've got a whole hub dedicated to Battlefoam, so you can go and find this out. And we're going to be having new product reviews as well about the brand new stuff they have coming out. The Privateer Press backpack. We're going to be talking about the new Magna rack system you guys have. But if you're unfamiliar, I'll just show you really quickly, just so you have a little glimpse. But we're not going to focus on this in this little chat. This is what you're getting, the kind of support you're getting with Battlefoam stuff. So it's these trays with inserts specifically customized and to suit the armies that you're running with, fitted in nice and tightly and snugly and protected in these bags. So this is the core of what Battlefoam is.
Yes, it is. It's bags and custom cut foam. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And we also offer, our custom is, when we say custom, this is a standard loadout. It's customized to hold, I think that one's a 28 to 32 millimeter loadout. But we do actual custom, and for us, actual custom is you literally get to design your own tray.
Do you know what?
Fit into one of our bags.
Let's show this right now, because I was going to show it a little bit later on, but I had a little go at your tray system, and I thought I was being really smart because we actually have their P.A.C Mini here. Let me grab this off. So this is just a little small handy pack for you to carry small skirmish game miniatures in. You could carry any sort of little war bands or even things like Shadespire and stuff you could easily put in here. However, for me, I found out that they started doing Destiny stuff.
Yeah, Star Wars Destiny.
So you support dice and cards and all sorts of other non-even miniatures-based things.
Yes.
So I had a look onto the website to have a look at the custom builder, so you could have a little whirl and fill your own tray. So essentially, if I bring this up here, this is what I went for. Now, this isn't great, I'm not going to lie. And this was the first attempt I came up with. So these were a couple of standard gaming sleeve, big spaces at the bottom of a tray with a mini gaming sleeve above, and a couple of spaces for what I thought would be good for dice or tokens at the top. And I showed this to Gemma thinking, I've done a really good job. I've made my own tray. This is going to fit into the pack and I can get this made. And Gemma was like, no, you've got so much grey space. You've got so much more room you can play with that's just dead foam in essence. So I had another go. And even this one was a little bit better. So this time I packed some more in. So I thought I'll get some more tokens in. I'll get some square and rectangle spaces in the bottom and then get some proper, so 4 little sections for my dice all together in one little corner.
Better.
It's better, but...
Well, no, it's good because you need to go to the buffer zones. Can touch each other. That's fine, but that's just telling you don't go
any further
unless you're intentionally overlapping. You can do that to create your own space with this, and with our custom trays, you can actually just make any shape you want. This is what we have on here, but if you want to make a unique shape. You can literally draw around the model. Yes.
And you can also, because this is what I didn't realise, when I showed this one to Gemma then thinking I'd done much better, and she says, there's still space there. And if you don't want to even use it, you can engrave.
You can add custom text. If there is some space, just tell us in the notes what custom text you'd like. And if there is some space, we will add it.
See, I love that. My OCD-ness just comes out there. And I love having the idea of each little unit tray maybe having a word beside it or just having its own designated little spot specifically for my army. That stuff excites me no end. So back to what Battle Foam are.
Sure.
Foam trays, bags, but unlimitedly customizable.
It's customizable. That's our main thing. I mean, the bags are really strong. The trays are, we have standard loadouts. We work with, we have our own bag systems. We call it the P.A.C system, and we make most of the trays at our UK warehouse, and they're mainly for the standard loadouts. So they're produced in the UK, and they can ship immediately, and our shipping times are great. Our operations are in great shape.
Good.
So we can offer amazing support from the UK to the UK and to Europe, of course. And so that's our base here. That's the purpose of it. And for things like custom, our US facility is supporting us with that. So, for example, your little tray there, if you wanted to get that produced, then we can do that. The production time for that is 4 to 5 weeks.
So if you're going for things that are standard, and when I say standard, I mean the website is full of stuff. I mean, you support Games Workshop, Boardroom Games, Weird Miniatures, Corvus Belly, even Fantasy Flight Games, who have only really been starting to get into miniatures the past year. I mean, well, they've had X-Wing, of course, up until now, which I know you guys have support for as well. So for me, seeing the range, seeing on the website the fact that you can just browse by game system is really cool.
No, it's great.
And seeing that you can go into the custom tray and just drag unit shapes in is so cool. And the foam's really resilient.
Very resilient, But I really want to just show you, if you're not familiar with battle foam, if you hold the tray at one end, then it's actually a tray.
It's rigid the whole way.
It's rigid.
It's not flopping around.
It's really soft. But it's firm enough, and the base is firm. And it's welded together. And this is how you receive it. You don't have to do anything else. So it is literally, you receive the tray. So if this is 25mm height, and then we weld a base onto the bottom of it. So all of our trays, it's a battle foam tray because it's branded.
Oh yes, it's embossed with your logo there.
We brand those, and then so that's the complete tray product, which is great. And obviously it's not flopping around; it's holding itself up, and that's what we need. So that provides
the
a
mixture
great
of the stability and the hard base, but with
soft.
the soft and flexible foam that you can play and mold around or expand a little bit depending. We all know when you have miniatures, if you've got an arm or a weapon or a big gun that you kind of just need to give a little push so it fits in snugly, you've got that flexibility to do that.
And also another thing I don't know if people are aware of, but we offer a lifetime warranty on our foam trays.
Wow.
On every single foam tray that we sell.
Oh my goodness.
So if that foam
separates.
If it ever separates, then it can be returned to us in the UK.
Don't see how it would, but you'd have to really be wearing and tearing that an awful lot.
If it does happen, we will replace that tray for its life.
Oh my goodness.
So it's literally a lifetime warranty.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's not something you get a lot these days, to be fair. That's pretty unique. I wasn't aware that you did that.
No,
that's really cool.
It's a nice, we've always done it, but we want people to obviously take advantage of that. If that ever does happen, then we're here to support that situation.
And you guys, so obviously, I mean, because the image I had of Battlefront was it was very American oriented, but you've been in the UK for
This is our
7 years.
7th year, yeah.
Wow. But this is so. What's the big bonus for you guys and for customers with you having a UK distribution? Like,
I think the main thing is communication, because we're there in the time zone, in the same time zone, and offering, for example, our live chat.
Okay.
We have on our website.
All right. Okay.
And people can ask any question, and we will provide support while we're in the office, and we're there from 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
This is obviously Greenwich Mean Time until 5 o'clock, and so during those times, if you want to chat with us, ask any question, any kind of support question at all, we are there. So that's amazing.
I asked Gemma to send me a couple of pictures of her staff, because I like to see who's behind the face of the company, and you sent us some of the most beautiful pictures. Like, not only are the staff just gorgeous, but also they're stunningly taken as well.
Yes.
So I wanted to show off. So this is your UK warehouse, and this is Dan?
This is our this is part of our foam area, and this is obviously the raw foam, and this is Dan. He is one of our production guys, and
he's not a model, is Dan. He actually works for Battlefoam. And then we had another one as well. Who's this?
And this is let's see, who's this? Oh, this is Emma, and she well, they're both working. They're both doing the same thing. They both work in the warehouse on our production. So she looks like she's stacking some foam right there.
Just admiring her handiwork. She looks
amazing.
But this is the thing, because I was like, let's see the crew. And
pre-Raphaelite.
Gemma was like,
She's
here
really
they are.
beautiful.
Look at. And I felt in Beast of War, all of a sudden, I felt like I needed to go and get some logos on and take a few nice pose shots. We don't have enough of us looking. I know.
She looks really great. She is a beautiful girl. So that's some of our staff.
So what else do you do? I mean, so there was a team in America.
Yes.
And now you have, well, not say now, for years you've had, but you're sort of really bigging up the fact that you've got the UK team now. Do you do much here that the American team couldn't do before? Like, do you travel to events? Do you do things in the UK that now, what doors has it opened for you?
Well, I think that for as far as getting the product, just operations-wise, it works really well because somebody can obviously, in our time zone, place that, ask for that product and we can send it.
Yeah.
If we usually send it the same day, if it's something that we produce in the UK.
Sure.
And also, we're just one step away from those trade opportunities to connect with customers. I mean, our product is something that you need to hold in your hands to really appreciate it.
We joked about this actually, because we talk a lot on Beast of War about tactile feeling, and we talk a lot about what it's like to have a miniature, or even in board game components and things like that. But one of the big things for me is to feel the padding, to feel the security, to feel, as we mentioned, with even with the simple smallest pack trays, to feel how firm it is, but also how malleable it is when it needs to be. You almost need to see it. So going to events that you guys go to Salute.
We've done Salute for all of the time that we've had been in the UK, and we'll obviously continue to do that. We were at Crisis in Antwerp
just recently,
week.
actually. Yeah, I have a photo of you guys at Crisis. It's a great wee shot, this one, actually.
Yes. We were. We had a lovely time. This is the Tin Soldiers of Antwerp that run this great event in this amazing building.
Yeah.
As you can see the start of it back there. And so this is obviously in Belgium, and that's a really nice event.
Look at this is your stand.
It's one of the stands for one of the shows that we do. Yes, we do. We will be going forward. We'll be going to. We'll be at BonesCon in February.
Yeah.
And then this will be Salute. So this is the first quarter of next year. Yeah. And then also UK Games Expo.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, we did that last year as well. We were there, and that was a really nice show for us.
Yeah, UK Games Expo is a big one for us. I mean, we're the official media partners for it, so we love going. We always have a good time.
Ah, great.
And the breadth and the sort of the variety of different companies you get going there is fantastic.
Yes.
So seeing you guys there is a great treat for us as well, from the miniature side of things. But speaking of of sort of partnerships and sort of the media support, you guys do partner with companies specifically as well when it comes to designing stuff.
Yeah, we do. We have some fantastic partners. We are. We've worked with Weird miniatures
Yeah,
for
okay.
the last 5 years, I think.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, that's lovely partnership. And we support mainly their Malifaux game. We've
Yeah.
just actually brought out a new Malifaux bag.
Okay.
So that's the 2.0 sized bag. So we work with we've been working on them to really just take into consideration how the game is now and how it's going in the future. So basically future proofing.
Yeah.
And another partner is Privateer Press. We have a fantastic range with them.
Yeah, and we'll be showing you guys at home the Privateer Press backpack that you guys have been developing.
Definitely on you.
Which not only takes into consideration Privateer Press and where it's going, but also looks at the supports for someone carrying it on their back, what it's like for someone who's maybe been walking a lot. There's the air vents on it are fantastic. The fact that you worked, I think Romeo was saying to me, with mountaineers and hikers who could tell you how to distribute the weight. Like, you guys are taking real consideration with not just the products, but also the companies and also the customers.
Yes.
It's nice to
The
see
whole
all
thing.
three.
We spend a lot of time developing and really designing and planning things really well, so that it's going to work for now, but it's going forward.
Yeah.
So that's the speciality. And also Corvus Belli as well. We have
for Infinity support,
Yeah,
for
Infinity.
Aristea, of course,
Yeah.
is a big one that's coming out, which you want to protect those minis. They're
Yes.
very pretty.
So for all of our partners, we love working with them, and we have a great relationship with them, and so and also looking forward into the future. If somebody wanted to contact us, then they can do that, and we're really open to doing that.
Yeah, it helps keep everybody ahead of the curve, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Because I know, for example, you guys already have all the Primaris stuff that's come out in 8th edition for 40k, and you also have Shadespire, which only released a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's
and Trey is dedicated to that, so that's awesome. I wanted to show one off. Now this is maybe a month old now, but it was a big one for me because we've been talking about custom trays, and this is about as custom as you get. But you guys have made this specifically for the monster that is Mortarion.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, it's
this
in
guy,
there.
yeah, he is. Look how big he is. He's absolutely massive. Now, Mortarion is a pointy, pokey guy, but he fits absolutely perfectly and nice and snugly in there without any risk of damage to the model. So if I think about trying to transport Mortarion, like usually with something without the system, there's so many bits and pokey parts to them and little movable bits that I would be worried about breaking or snapping. I can't. Like, I used to transport minis in a B&Q toolbox.
Oh, yes.
You know, the kind of standard fold-out, double-sided, all the minis here, and then I'd have my tanks and stuff at the bottom. I couldn't do that with Mortarion.
No.
He's too fragile. So seeing that you guys were right up to speed getting this out straight after he released was a really nice thing to see.
Yes, exactly. So just while you have that because this tray is one of the trays. So we call this actually a standard tray.
It's epic to me.
Yeah, I mean, it is customized to
Yeah.
this model, but it's still in our standard range. It's something that people can purchase right now, and it's available in the UK. At the moment, it can be ordered as what we call a ship now product,
Okay.
And with that, people can order it via the UK, and it will be shipped from our US facility to our UK facility.
Okay.
So it's almost like it is a custom tray.
So the UK, if so, you're getting stuff very quickly if it's kind of standard or common, but these brand new things that are a bit more specialist are going to come across in the US.
Yes, they come across on a container.
Okay.
And our next container will be arriving with us in January.
Okay.
So, for example, this tray can be ordered now. If you don't want to wait for the container in January, it can be ordered now, and we'll ship it to the UK, and it will be just combined with the rest of your order.
Gotcha.
And the time scale on that is 4 to 5 weeks, and that's mostly just shipping it from the US to the UK. So there is a shipping supplement for doing this, and if you want to avoid that, then the other option is to wait for
Until
the
it's,
container.
yeah, and it's fully available here.
And then it's just in the UK, and you can just buy it like any other tray.
Cool. Okay.
So that's how that system works. So yes.
So everything makes its way here eventually.
Everything
it's just a
makes
few
its
months
way.
behind sometimes the
Exactly.
US.
We just have to wait for the container, but if you don't want to wait, you can ship it now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so you have the option.
Yes,
You're
you have the
never
option.
never going to be stuck.
No.
Okay. So I guess what I would like to chat about then is if people want to contact you or if people want to get in touch with the UK team specifically, so what methods do they use? You mentioned the live chat on the website.
Yeah, the live chat's great. And you can also leave if we're not available on the live chat at that time, you can leave an email, just a message there. We also have a dedicated customer service email, info.uk@battlephone.com.
Okay.
So that's perfect. And then we also have a new Facebook page, which is a brand new thing for us.
So separate from the...
It launched, yes, we launched a UK and Europe specific website on Facebook. So that's a really new thing. And we're really excited about it because we're going to be able to communicate directly with our customer base here in the UK and Europe. And we really want to have some fun and do some competitions. We did one just to launch it, and that was lovely, real successful.
Give away like 3 bags?
We gave away 3 custom loadout P.A.C K 432. So it's a lovely prize, and we have those in limited edition colours. So people could choose the colour, they could choose exactly what loadout, and customers were chosen. We did it by paint bomb, by pen bomb.
By pen bomb?
Yeah, we dropped a pen from our warehouse upper level onto a sheet with all the names, and it just picked the winners like that.
Did you record that, or
I did a bit. We did record it. Yeah,
that's a fantastic way. And do you do it where it lands after it bounces?
No, it just landed and just
goes,
picked somebody, because I always wonder how people pick those things. So
it's a weird.
I kind of like to come up with some fun ways to pick winners.
Man, your warehouse seems so much fun.
Yeah.
We just use random number generators.
No, we don't want to
seems
do it
awfully
like
drab.
That. So this was done in a fun way, and it was totally random. Then, of course, so whoever got pen bombed won.
Come back to everybody in the future about some way I can make Beast. We're going to have to do something with dice. So we're going to have to make our own D. See, we normally have to pick between thousands of people, so we need a huge dice, just a massive house-sized dice. Should probably cover it. That's really cool. I like to hear that. And funny enough, you gave me a picture which I thought was really cool. This was from an event where you ran a competition.
Well, we do this. This was, I think, Salute this year.
Yeah.
And we did a competition at a trade. This was at a trade show.
Yeah.
So this is the lucky winner. He had spent a certain amount of money, and he's winning his £100 worth of battle phone.
And you actually have one of the little Battlefront dollars. He's not because he won £100, but
you like these?
The guys, I love these. So the Battlefront team have little you can hold that up and see it a little bit better. They have Battlefont dollars basically.
Yeah, well, it's bucks, Battlefont bucks.
Battlefont bucks. Oh, that's cool.
And so with this, most of our coupons are done on there. So this is something that we run across, and we usually have some kind of prizes at trade shows as well. So. And he looks delighted, doesn't he?
He does. He looks absolutely elated.
And he should be, because that's a really nice prize. So there he is. So so on our website we're going to be rolling out some really cool things. Facebook page, I'm sorry, and we really encourage everybody to join in with that.
Start
because it's definitely worth
worth
keeping an eye on it for, and also for, of course, when we put new custom. Shapes on our custom trade creator, that's the Facebook page. It's an easy way for us to communicate that. New trays and new kits, new bags, new products, just all kinds of information. So please, just come
and say hello. Come and hang out.
And you can obviously contact us through there as well, and that's a really nice way, and we'll support everything.
And that's, as you mentioned with the time zones, the GMT thing. That's the real benefit of having you guys here with your own warehouse in the UK, because being able to get an instant response or just a very quick message drop and get a chat back it makes a big deal. Because one of the things that blew me away was the customization of the trays. But for example, when I did the first draft of it there, I had a lot of grey space, but I didn't really think about it.
Right.
But I could have, if I'd taken some time, I could have gone on and said, hey guys, I've got a bit of space, what else could I include here? And I wasn't aware of the fact you could just draw customizable shapes. I could use all of that space for text. So I was able to do it because I was sitting talking to you.
Right.
So having anyone who goes to the website have the live chat or the Facebook message to say, I'm stuck for something, or I'm trying to build a specific army, or I love this tray you've got where it has 2 vehicles, but actually I really want to remove that one and fill this other one with troops because I'm only running 1 flyer at the minute, for example. Flyers are a good example in 40k because sometimes you'll run 6, a lot of times you might just run 1 and they take up a lot of space.
Yes.
So having that flexibility to just remove something and fill it with something else and have someone to talk to.
We can help with all of that stuff, and we love it when people ask questions. We love to be able to help and support. So
I kind of want to set a challenge for everybody and say, go on to the Battle Foam bag creator and make the craziest looking foam tray that you can. What is the most? There's bound to be some really talented people out there who could do some wicked designs that maybe you guys could then hire. Be like, yes, they've got an idea. Let's bring them on board. There's got to be something. There's got to be something. So what's in the future for you guys? So obviously we're going to be bringing some videos out in the coming weeks about what new products you've just released.
Yeah.
What else is coming up?
Well, I think that what I'd like to talk about we've got the trade shows coming up, and we have the Facebook page, so all those things, and with the we really like limited edition patterns.
Yep.
So we brought up the ammo box bag, so we can talk about the
pattern on that.
Yeah, the pattern, because this is turning out to be a real nice. We've had some great feedback.
Is this a popular bag?
It's really popular. It comes in 2 different. The standard loadout is either 15 to 20 millimeter, or 28 to 32 millimeter standard loadout. So you can choose which loadout. It also comes in you can customize it, or you can buy it empty. Then it fits the Battle Foam medium size trays. But the limited edition camouflage is definitely popular.
One of the big selling points of it.
Yeah, but we do a limited run. Once they're sold out, they're done. And then the next time we make a run of these, the camouflage pattern will be different.
Oh.
So this is really nice.
So it's properly limited print.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
You've got a Battle Foam bag from 2016. Ooh.
Yeah, so you can. It's kind of we have the new patterns coming out.
Yeah.
We will be running the urban grey and black.
Okay. So your white, your grey, your black mixed together, more kind of almost a snowy city feel to it. Okay.
That's a cool one. And then we're going to be doing the digital camo.
Nice.
So you might recognise or thinking,
you Modern Warfare kids are gonna love that.
And then what's another one? Oh, we're doing a German World War II.
Something for our historical friends. That's smart. Oh, John would love that.
So that's really nice.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be running a competition. We'll probably do that on our Facebook page. I would have thought we will, because I'm sure there's a camo pattern that lots of people want. Yeah. And we'll run a competition. To figure out. So look out for that, because if there's a camo pattern then that you like,
that's going to be a chance to get it.
This is a chance to vote on it, and then that will be the next one.
Oh, so get the community to actually choose which route you're going to go down.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like to see that a lot, especially if something's going to be limited. At least that way, everyone's getting to have their say, and people are going to be chasing after it because they've helped choose which one you're going to go down the route for.
So this jungle camo is going to also be run in the P.A.C. 720.
Yeah. Oh, so the larger pack.
Yeah. So that's the large, which holds Battle Foam large size trays, and it's perfect for larger armies. And we're going to be doing a limited edition jungle pattern run. I think it's worldwide 300.
Is that all?
So that's it.
Oh,
so once they're gone, they're gone.
That's pretty limited.
Yeah, it's very. So that's really nice, and I think this is fantastic. And yes, it is selling out fast already. So
I must admit, the thought of the grey, the black and grey kind of urban camo, that's the one that's tickled my fancy.
Like. Yeah, that's it. So there'll be something for everybody. Yeah, and then a choice for everybody to make what they like.
Fantastic.
So, great.
Well, look, thank you so much for coming on and kind of bringing us up to speed on what Battle Foam we're doing. As I mentioned before, we will have videos coming up in the coming weeks where you guys can check out the new Privateer Press backpack. We'll have some chat around the P.A.C K Mini as well, and the new little foam trays you can get for that. So I'm looking forward to bringing you guys that and bringing you up to speed with Battle Foam. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any ideas, or if you do have any crazy custom trays that you decide to make, comment below, send us a little link. I would love to check them out, and we will catch you soon.
Take control of armies from the 5 kingdoms of Arcania and vie for the throne of the ancient king in Wrath of Kings. Master your skills on the battlefield over on beastofwar.com. Fame and fortune awaits in Blood and Plunder. Set sail in the golden age of piracy and claim the riches of the Caribbean at beastofwar.com.
So yeah, it was lovely to have Gemma come in, and it's good now. I think everyone needs to be more aware that Battlefoam have that UK distribution. It's really nice to get an update from them, and in the future we're going to have some proper delves into their Privateer Press backpack. We're also going to look at everything new that's coming out for them. They've got their ammo bag as well, and they've also got the new Magnarack system, so we're going to get a chance to get some videos out and show all that in a bit of detail as well. So it's nice to get an update with them. We don't have Battlefoam in the studio really as much as we should.
Ooh, Magnarack.
Magnarack. It's cool.
I have their old version of it.
Yeah.
Which is great because I'm putting my Kings of War Romans on it. But the new one looks much better. It looks the old one was just like massive, like 12 or 13-inch steel bolts screwed onto steel plates.
This is snazzy.
Much nicer.
It's very sturdy, very rigid, very simple to put together, and very customizable. You know, so if you want massive minis at the bottom, middle size, and then sort of tiny minis at the top, you can absolutely customize it any way you want and build it for any bag that you already have if you want to. So the Magnarite systems are really nice now.
Sweet.
So,
what about terrain? Could we fit terrain into a magnetized rack
100%,
system?
Absolutely.
Because I know you're going to show off some stuff you've been working on in the backstage show tomorrow, and I was thinking maybe you could drill that out and magnetize it. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Maybe a little
Once you make those Roman buildings, because they'll be half built, you'll want to protect them well.
You won't want to protect Rome.
But for everybody watching, don't forget, come over. If you're watching on YouTube, come along to beastofwar.com and comment on this video, because you'll have a chance to win one of the Battlefoam mini packs. Load it out however you want. Yeah.
Load it out for Gangs of Rome. Fit your Roman guy.
Perfect. Yeah. You get a mob in that.
Oh, you get two mobs in that.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to move us on because we got a couple of exciting Kickstarters to talk about. One that I can't believe is actually real. How did you do this? How? You'll know what I mean in a second. Right, what's up first, lads? Who wants to kick this off?
Go on, Ben.
Okay, so the first Kickstarter we're going to be looking at is from the guys at Battle Kiwi, who do some fantastic terrain. And this terrain Kickstarter is all based around the idea of a certain moon called Endor.
Look at that.
Or the moon of Endor. But yeah,
that.
so this is the terrain that they've been designing for use in, and they're pretty open about this, Star Wars Legion, which is coming next year.
Open, it's blatant.
It's possible to hide it, really.
Oh, they've even got moisture evaporators.
Yeah. So this is a neat range of different terrain pieces, ranging from very small up to very huge. They're all designed for 28 to 32mm combat, so perfect again for Star Wars Legion. But also, as I sort of throw in there, I kind of think this terrain would actually look pretty cool in the world of Infinity as well. If you're going to try and do some kind of like Ariadne backwater sort of complex potentially in a woods or like in the jungles or things, I think that could be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but yeah, back to this. This is all going to be for sort of Star Wars stuff. So as you can see, they've seen it scaled against some stuff like AT-ATs, AT-STs, and some of the smaller miniatures as well that already exist out there. They've got a whole bunch of different kits out there. They're all done in MDF, and they've all been designed so they're incredibly easy to put together. So if you're just starting out building terrain, this has been designed so that it's as simple as possible for you to use, which is really cool. And I think, again, it makes a lot of sense with Star Wars Legion coming out. There's going to be a lot of people coming over from potentially the board game world, diving into this, maybe their first miniatures game, and trying things out with the terrain that they've got here. So, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
And the trees they've got, and the scatters.
Are the trees part of it?
I wish those big trees are part of it. That's what you get for living in New Zealand, though. You get a movie set. You were living in a movie set.
Yeah.
The entire time. Speaking of New Zealand, oh man, well, we'll do this, and then I'll talk to, and then I'll have a wee detour to something else. Yeah, come on.
I thought you were going to get all Hobbity on us there.
No, it's not Hobbity. I'm going to get Blade Runner-y. In fact, sod it. Yeah. Right? So speaking of New Zealand, I think it's Weta Workshop in New Zealand. Yeah. We're actually doing a lot of work on the Blade Runner movie.
Okay.
Right? So they made massive models of the city and stuff. And I was completely oblivious to this. I just assumed it was all CGI the whole way. And there's this class video on YouTube where they show the big cities and the blocks are like this high, and then like their super building is like twice the height of this room, and it's all miniatures. And then they have their automated cameras that do the same motion. So they would shoot it with the lights on, then they would turn the lights off and just turn the illuminating lights on in the actual buildings. And then they would do another pass where they did the lighting slightly different.
Wow.
And that way you could turn the lights up and down and do all sorts of stuff in the computer after that. But I just assumed this is all CGI, but no, the scrapyards, I don't know if you guys have seen it, it's a
I've
great
seen
movie.
it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
The scrapyards, actual like model scrapyards and stuff. Oh my goodness, we have to put this video. We'll put this in the link. Check out if you're into model making. It's just epic. It's just so fun.
It is stunning, and it pains me that that's either been smashed down and thrown into bits somewhere, or is just going to sit until it rots somewhere, which is generally what happens to these models. You know, once they're done, they're just...
Surely it's in lockup waiting for the never to happen Blade Runner 3.
I'll look forward to that in another 30 years.
I have a little confession. My favourite miniatures-related kind of film thing is actually from Team America, which it was all done using puppets. And you don't realise until you see the behind-the-scenes footage of how they actually made that with the level of detail they went into. Because at one point, it opens in France, and they've got the Eiffel Tower, they've got the Louvre, they've got the whole run-up to it and everything
I know where this is going.
And they've also got tiny little croissant cobblestones. Every single cobblestone is a tiny little fingernail-sized croissant. It's just amazing. They also had a giant Panama Canal dam, which they just blew up. And it's, as you said, it was about 2-3 times the height of this room, so it was tall as 2 people, and just blew the whole thing up. Water concussion essentially ruined the £100,000 worth of puppets, all for the sake of making a puppet movie. I was like, the behind-the-scenes stuff just blew my mind.
I love these behind-the-scenes things.
Michael Bay with puppets.
Yeah, it really was.
I was watching a documentary about the making of Space 1999. Right?
Quality.
Have you ever seen Space 1999? Oh man, Ben, you ever seen Space 1999?
Yeah.
Welcome to the club. It's about a moon base, right?
Is it the one with Hal in it?
What? No.
No.
This is a TV show, right? So
I've definitely not seen it.
think of the time when Star Trek was out.
Okay.
But this was like the thinking man Star Trek.
Oh, that's
But at least for the first season,
Well.
right? At least for the first season, sort of. Anyway, think about a moon, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a moon. Well, you've got our moon, right?
Okay.
So there's a moon base, and what we're doing is we're shipping all our nuclear waste to the moon, right?
Okay.
So they've been at it for a few years, and they've moved on to a second site. But it all goes pear-shaped when they don't take into account some magnetic effect or some crap that this nuclear waste is just doing, right? Anyway, long story short, big bada boom, and the moon's off. It's going intergalactic, and they're flying around on the moon, visiting alien species as they fly through the universe. Thinking about it, it's not really the thinking man Star Trek. Anyway, this is a documentary about not just the puppeteering and the models and stuff, but how the American studio got involved. And one week they were saying, we need monsters in this show. It's really popular over here in the States. It's monsters, everything's monsters. Right? And then the Jerry Anderson, isn't it Jerry Anderson?
Oh, Jerry, yeah.
He's like, oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, they make all these monsters which look hideously crap. The monster costumes in Space 1999 terrible. This is the second season after they've been meddled with a lot. So they have all these monsters in the show, and then the American guy comes over. Why is it full of monsters? What are all these monsters for? And Jerry's like, you just said that everything in America is monsters. That's over. We don't want no more monsters. Get rid of all these monsters. Needless to say, show got cancelled.
Yeah.
Oh, but it had some great stuff like the Eagles.
The Eagles
like
were
these
great.
spaceships with a round bit at the front.
I had a die-cast Eagle. In fact, I probably still have one.
And some boosters and lots of framework and stuff going on about it. It was really cool looking for the time. It was verging.
Everything Jerry does is fantastic.
Was-
I assume all those monster costumes he kept for 20 odd years, and then he reused them in Space Precinct because they were terrible. But yeah,
It was kind of verging on Space Odyssey territory of quality of the visuals for the day.
Wow.
But it was all models and stuff. Oh, I'm well into watching the movies stuff,
Behind the scenes.
models and stuff. Anyway, back to what we talked about. What were we talking about?
Star Wars Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, Star Wars Kickstarter.
Looks dead good.
That isn't really a Star Wars Kickstarter, but totally is.
Buy it before Disney shuts it down.
War Stars.
Yeah, it's looking sweet. Where's it funded?
Oh
It is.
God,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It is ridiculously well funded, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, ridiculously well
Yeah.
funded.
There we go.
He was after a grand to buy some planks of wood. That's all he needed. Now he spent it.
Yeah, so that was our first Kickstarter. 13 days left, approximately, maybe a
Yeah.
little less by
Yeah.
now. The next one's of interest to you, Jerry.
It might be, yeah.
It's an expansion. It's the Great War French Army expansion.
It is from.
And you have the original.
I
set,
have the
don't you?
original set, which is British and German. So it's.
And you got that how long ago?
2 years.
And the Megans you played a bit?
I haven't opened. Well, I've opened the box. Then I shut the box. I will get to it.
It's class. Actually,
It's a great. It's based off Memoir 44,
Which I love.
which is
Absolutely love
a
as a system.
fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic hex-based game.
There's a brilliant moment, right? Because we were kind of thinking, well, what were we talking about in the show? And they had the Kickstarter video. It was Plastic Soldier Company,
Yeah.
right? So in the original box, all the wee men came on the sprues.
Yes.
And then in the video, she's like saying, no, and this time they're all coming off the sprue. And me and Jerry looked at each other and went, well, who cares? You see, you board gamers.
And I was like, why were they on sprues in the first place?
And they were like, no problem, we cut that off, no problem at all, yada, yada, yada. And then Az
Board
turns
gamers can't
around.
use clippers.
Az turns round to Jerry and goes,
Yeah.
well, how did your miniatures come out? Oh, they're still in the sprue.
You know, I stand by my decision to keep it on the sprue pristine the way nature intended it.
Oh, yeah, that's getting played with a lot.
Oh yeah.
With that in mind, let's actually see what they're coming out with.
Well, yeah.
Here we go.
So what they're coming out with is the French army.
Yeah.
So obviously the original set was British and Germans. This one is an expansion, so you do still need the first Great War set, but this adds in not only French miniatures, but they've added in a new type of specialist miniatures, so you can have flamethrowers and snipers and that sort of thing. And as part of this, if you back it, they've added stretch goals in where they will add those new style of miniatures that weren't in the original. So you'll get some British and German flamethrowers and specialists. There's the Germans and there's the British. And along with the PDF rules so that you can add them into your base game if you want to add a bit more into the original. Whereas this is solely based around Verdun and the French-German fighting there.
So it's all 15mm size.
These are all 15, so it's standard plastic soldier. Well, I say standard plastic soldier company. They work in every scale they can find. It's their 15mm range, so it matches in sort of Flames of War.
Oh man, I think I'd totally like to play this. If only you'd cut them off the sprue, Jerry.
I will, since you painted those sheep for me, I will sacrifice my weekend and cut them off the sprue, and we can play a game.
Is that a fair trade?
Oh yeah. I
Painting
think
sheep
that's-
and then just going clip, clip, clip. That's Lloyd
a
happy
lot
now.
of clipping. A lot of clipping. My clipping fingers will be completely bashed.
Oh dear.
Unless you want
I'm
to clip them
tempted.
off the
I'm tempted
sprue.
to play this game though.
Yeah.
I was watching
Well,
the Kickstarter video and stuff,
yeah.
and I was thinking, "Ooh, this could be interesting." And then you piped
How
up and go,
about-
"I have the original."
How about I bring it to the club next week? How about that?
Oh, wow.
Yes, we could do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
There
I
you go.
could.
Yeah,
I could be
see.
persuaded to take a break from Saga.
Saga.
Yeah.
After
Temporarily.
that table we just showed off earlier, you're going to take a break from Saga.
I know, but we're gonna have to think up scenarios and
Yeah.
stuff for that.
Oh, that'll take time. You can't just go into these things half-cocked.
No.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no!
When are you gonna build
we might
room?
have to think about that scenario first. Oh, I'm in two minds now. Oh, absolutely. Is there anything else we need to show on that Kickstarter?
That's pretty much
Let's
it.
get
There's a few
sidetracked here
of the
again.
stretch
Yeah.
goals, but to be honest, that's mainly what you're getting there.
Ben, I'm going to come to you, mate. What do you think of the Great War Kickstarter?
Yeah, it's really cool. I really like what they're doing with this. Again, it's one of those things. Nice to see the game's getting loads of expansions going forward. I like the fact that they've got this really nice focus on it being historically driven. So there's the 12 scenarios you get with this, with the French. So you play through all these historical battles. It's really cool. Another thing to note as well is they're going to be doing a centenary edition of the game. And the main focus of that is to make a lot of the cosmetic changes with the new box game for it. So the original set, but it'll look a lot prettier. They're obviously doing the thing with all the sprues and they're changing the model quality as well. So if you haven't jumped into the Great War already, this is a really cool idea and a really great way to jump into it now and give it a go and play along with Jerry and
There
enjoy
you
as
go.
they
I
get into
could-
their games.
I could just hang on by the centenary edition and I wouldn't need to clip it off the sprues.
There
Is
you
that
go.
what you're saying?
Yeah.
Can I just ask,
Yes.
does anyone know what this is?
That's
That's
a
a tank.
tank.
Is that really what it looked like?
That looks like one of the French ones. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is, I want it to hit, what's that, the 50,000 stretch goal? Just so I can see what that looks like in the game. That is
Oh, they're great. They do
badass.
tanks for the German and British as well in the first one, and they are, they're an unusual looking set of designs
Yeah.
that the crowd came up with back in the 1914 sort of era. They
It's
really
like-
are bizarre. They were working on the principle they needed something to cross trenches.
Yeah.
And they went, what if we put some form of tracks on a battleship? And they went, yeah, that's genius. Yeah, let's do that. And that's more or less what they did. They're massive, honking, multiple cannons, multiple guns. They're like little mini fortresses on treads.
Because they used to be called land ships
Yeah.
until they dubbed them a tank because they didn't want the enemy to get a whiff of what the heck they were doing. Because
Mm.
a land ship kind of describes what they were
What
doing.
they're doing, yeah.
Whereas if you hear tank, now bear in mind
Yeah,
tanks didn't
free.
exist at the
Yeah.
time. You're like,
Yeah.
what's
so,
this tank?
So somebody's building some water tanks or steam tank. Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Tanks over there is tanks everywhere. Not this sort of tank. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap the show up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited about those 2 Kickstarters. I can't believe the first one. How did you do that? I can't believe that. I'm probably going to get a game of this
Yes.
at some point when you do
Yes.
clip it. But I am going to wrap it because we're going to go into the backstage show, which is on tomorrow here on beastsofwar.com. We're going to be talking a lot about Saga. We're going to talk a lot about what we've been doing hobby-wise. Just before we go, we're going to throw out a reminder. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning that Battlefront prize, you comment
On this video.
specifically
Yeah.
here on beastsofwar.com,
Exactly.
not on YouTube.
Exactly. Over on beastofwar.com. Come and see us there. Sign up for a free account. Also, don't forget we still have the GameMat.EU
Yes.
thread going at beastofwar.com as well. We'll put a link to it in the description of the video, and you can go along and pick up a name for its new mat and maybe win yourself one.
Sweet. If you haven't joined us for the XLBS show, come on over to Beast of War, make yourself a free account. You get a 7-day free trial. You can nip in on the Sunday and see what we get up to. Until next time, that's it. That's the end of the show.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now, and be sure to check out beastsofwar.com for the latest gaming news and gaming let's plays. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.